All right, enough Spurs. How about some quick hits instead?
Let's go, Gab.
Manchester United get thumped at home by Bournemouth, losing 3-0. Jules, Ruben Amorim is preaching patience.
Yeah, I think he's right. We've said that many times, no problem. And not everything was bad in that game. They have a higher XG, for example, than Bournemouth, if you like that kind of stuff. So they didn't play too badly. But at the end of the day, you didn't take your chances, and Bournemouth were outstanding with and without the ball in your own turf. Bournemouth, let's remind everybody, won 3-0 last season, almost a year to the day.
Different manager,
but still same effect. And just looking at the face of Ruben Amorim on the bench, you understood how much he knew how difficult this is all going to be. And yes, it will take a long time. It's a rebuilding, a reconstruction job, whatever way you want to put it. They will have highs and lows, a lot of them on the way, but eventually he might fix it.
Yeah, 7 points from 6 games. All I want to stress is
it's not good enough from him.
The tools for him to fix it are more likely to be there if he can get this team up the table and into at least the Europa League spots. I think that's important because I think we've seen they need a number of players. Poor Joshua Zirkzee is all wrong for this game. I don't think that's his position. If you're going to play in that way.
Yeah.
And also, I don't get, all right, you want to be kind, give everybody a chance. Like, enough, Terrell Malacia. Seriously?
I know. And still no Marcus Rashford, by the way. Real Madrid roll over Sevilla 4-2 at the Bernabeu. Gab and Ancelotti says they have the right balance going forward now.
Yeah, well, yes, they do against Sevilla.
Yeah.
When you're 3-0 up at halftime, you got Mbappe and Bellingham through the middle. The Julien Lawrence scheme, remember you said, play Bellingham further up the pitch.
Exactly.
Okay,
Since
and
that.
then I have Rodrigo and Brahim. Now, does that work against a better team? Does that work when Vini is there on the left instead of Rodrigo? I'm not sure. Can you have the luxury of Camavinga at left back?
Yeah.
Which means Dani Ceballos in midfield? I don't know. Good news, I think, at the back, I think still pretty evident issues.
Yeah.
But that said, Mbappe smiling.
Come on, my boy.
Who scored the better goal, Mbappe or Valverde?
Mbappe, come on.
Mbappe. Thank
Yeah,
you. Producer
let's
Freddie's
be
like,
no,
Valverde. That's why if you're watching us on YouTube, Valverde's up on the screen behind us. No. It should be Mbappe.
It should have been Mbappe, 100%.
Come on
man.
now.
Scoring again, like 5 games in a row now, I think he scored.
Oops, they did it again.
Aye.
Manchester City have now lost 9 of their last 12, falling 2-1 at Aston Villa. And again, this could have been more.
It could have been more, should have been more. They were just so bad. And we said before with Barca and Atletico, you can play well and lose matches. That happens. It happens to everyone. And there were games in those defeats where City played well for half an hour, 45 minutes maybe,
Sometimes even 90 minutes.
Yeah, and still didn't get the points. Okay, in that game, they were horrendous. And that's where you worry even more because until Foden scored in the 94th minute, wherever it was, they just didn't create anything. There was no rhythm to their game, no creativity. Defensively, they're shockingly bad, all of them. They could have been a goal down after 15 seconds. That's how bad they were.
And again, no adjustments. I mean, you play Kamara and Onana, who I think is fantastic. It frees
and Tielemans, yeah,
it
course.
frees up Yuri Tielemans, who, as you know, we're Team Tielemans all the way.
Yeah.
Make an adjustment. Do something. You're getting killed there. Gundogan and Kovacic are getting killed.
Yeah.
That's what the part I don't understand.
I know. I think it's really worrying. And sticking with City, Gabi, Erling Haaland after the game said that he hasn't been good enough and that he needs to work harder. Basically taking responsibility, it felt like, for the defeat and the bad run. Do you think he's right?
No, he's wrong. And you know who else doesn't think he's wrong? Pep Guardiola. Can he work harder? Yes, everybody can get better. We can do harder. But right now he's operating in when he arrived, Pep made the decision, and it worked out for him for a long time, that, okay, you're just going to be the attacking terminus. We will tee you up. We have all these playmakers and whatever, right? Now they're producing nothing, so he sees very little of the ball.
Yeah.
Earlier this season, he missed a bunch of chances. He still scored a ton of goals this season, right? He's not missing chances now. He's just not getting on the end of them because they're not creating anything.
No chances for him.
Erling Haaland is part of the solution, and I've floated this before. Maybe it's time, given the way you're playing, maybe give him more license. Maybe don't just use him as a finisher. Maybe get him to drop off.
Yeah.
Maybe get him to hold the ball up. Maybe get him to do things that you haven't asked him to do so far. Because I'll tell you what, in absolute terms, Erling Haaland is one of Manchester City's best players. And right now, this means that he's not involved. by the way, another point on City, which I forgot before. He dropped Alisson again for Ortega. Ortega made that ridiculous save. Ederson. Is Ederson really a problem?
I don't know. I thought he was not fit. I think there was a question mark over his fitness.
Right.
I think it's more fitness issues than anything else this time.
Gabriel Jesus scores 2 and could have had 4 as Arsenal demolished Crystal Palace 5-1. Jules, I still don't think he should play up front. Am I wrong? And how big a blow is Bukayo Saka's injury?
I think he can play up front if you play with Kai Havertz in midfield and have a bit of that kind of Luis Diaz, so it was like combo that we mentioned earlier for Liverpool, and have a bit of Gabriel Jesus, Havertz, as we saw in the first goal. The first goal is exactly that. Havertz plays a centre forward, Gabriel Jesus on the left. You've got a front four with Saka, Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, and Martinelli in this game. And then your two midfielders with Odegaard, and then obviously Partey as the most defensive one. I think that works that way. I don't know if it would work in every game. And by the way, the results don't really reflect the way the game went, because Palace could have easily scored 2 or 3 as well. So this is great. The bad news, of course, is Bukayo Saka's injury. He left the stadium on crutches, which is never a good thing. And we're waiting to hear some news from Mikel Arteta, but if it's hamstring, it will be at least 2-3 weeks.
The other reason you don't want to play, I think, Havertz in midfield alongside Odegaard is that then that means that presumably Declan Rice is your third midfielder, and Declan Rice as a defensive midfielder, I don't think is good use of Declan Rice. I think you need Partey or a Partey type in front of the back four.
Thiago Motta fiddles with his formation and Juventus win away at Monza 2-1. But Gab, people are still not happy.
No, they're not happy because this is a bad performance. He tried something a little different. He had
McKennie at left back? Or left side, yeah.
He's moving, so he can come inside. Nico Gonzalez, McKennie, who scored, by the way. Yeah. Nico Gonzalez
scored as well.
In the hole, also scored. He had Coop Miners kind of alongside him. Locatelli as a pivot. But it was a really ugly performance in the second half. And I'm thinking, you're 2-1 up against a team that's bottom of the table. You should be managing the game. You should be creating chances on the counter. And it's just not happening for him. And that's why people are annoyed. And I'm glad we've progressed beyond the point where we just look at results and can actually talk about performances. After shackling Arsenal, Everton hold Chelsea to a scoreless draw 2. Jules, are you impressed? You team Daesh?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Because I think, like in the Arsenal game, Arsenal had enough chances to win it. I think Chelsea had enough chances to win it. I think it was bad. Nico Jackson.
Everton had some big chances too. Robert Sanchez, my man, improving.
Yeah, big save. But Nico Jackson, really, it's the bad Nico from last season. But if you're Everton, you take that. The thing I was the most disappointing with, and maybe I'm a bit mean, and I don't know what the freaking family schedule look like for this weekend, but you've just bought Everton Football Club. It's a massive investment. It's a club that needs a lot of TLC and love right now, and you're not there. What? Yeah. Well, you have something better to do on Sunday?
Especially when the narrative of people reason you don't like you in Roma is that you're often not there either. Oh, and one last thing, I thought Jordan Pickford should have been sent off.
Yeah, probably as well. They're leaving late, but the Prince Charles de Ketelaere delivers a 3-2 win for Atalanta over Empoli. Gab, they're top at Christmas.
They are top at Christmas.
And that's great.
And I know we talked about the Ketelaere in midweek after the Coppa Italia. I can't help but talk about him again, Jules.
Yeah, it was so good.
Because this was such a dominant performance. The winner that he scored, Atalanta weren't great in this game. I mean, Empoli are tough out. They're one of those, classic scrappy team with few resources, some combination of youth, creativity with signings. They create problems for bigger teams. Fine. And you could see Atalanta are tired. They've played a lot of games. They're not used to the Champions League and whatever else. And then this guy just takes over. And I genuinely believe that one of the issues with the Ketelaere is the way he looks. He looks soft. He looks like some posh boy.
What would that be a problem? For who?
I think this is why at Milan after 1 year, I mean, he had a horrible year at Milan and they wrote him off and they sent him to Atalanta. And I think they're seriously regretting it. Imagine if he was at Milan. Imagine the parallel universe where he's at Milan, so they don't have to mess around with Tammy Abraham and Chukwueze and whatever else. Just imagine. Ugly scenes from Sao Paulo, Jules. 4 players from River Plate's women's team were arrested and accused of racially abusing a ball boy during their team's clash with Grêmio in the Brazil Ladies Cup, which, if you're not familiar with, is an international friendly tournament.
I've never seen anything like this, Gab. I won't lie. Incredible. You see the video. If you haven't seen the video, you can go and check it out. You see clearly the monkey gestures. They've verbally, racially abused people at that game.
That's what they're accused of, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're accused of, so that's right.
The monkey gestures, I think, are
pretty
obvious.
Yeah, to see. So you can just imagine the rest, I think, in what was really incredible scenes, the Gremio players walking off, not wanting to play that game, which I completely understand and support 100%. It was just mad.
Yeah. I've never seen anything like this in women's football. I'm not sure I've seen anything like this in men's football. Because we should say it. So there's clearly a fight or a brawl that breaks out between these women.
There's a lot of tensions, you could tell.
The ball boy, who's this sort of lanky guy with an afro, comes close, and then words are exchanged, and then he gets racially abused.
Yeah.
What happened to me afterwards, though, is equally shocking. Because these women from River, I presume the four have been arrested.
Yeah.
They don't stop. They're literally chasing the ball boy and the referee all around the stadium. Yeah. And look, I know it's a friendly match. It's women's football in South America. There's not going to be a big crowd, a big security apparatus. But they must have a coach. They must have people with them.
I know, absolutely.
I'm sorry. These are all a bunch of 5'5" women.
Yeah.
Nobody can step in and say stop. I don't think these women are ever going to play. The ones who were involved, I don't think they're ever going to play football again.
They shouldn't anyway.
They could face criminal charges under legislation in Brazil for the monkey gesture. That's awful, right?
Yeah.
But equally, to lose your heads like this, you're sending a message that, I never want to play football again. Really ugly.
Yeah, that was bad. Gab, our colleague Marcotti always cites the leaky roof at Old Trafford as evidence of how much the United must spend and need investment. And we saw that on Sunday again.
Yeah, this was awful. Poor Ruben Amorim is there in his post-match press conference. He's just lost 3-0. And then on top of that, there's a drip coming down through the light fixtures. I mean, leaving aside that there's leak in the roof and the water starts coming through your light fixtures. When the lights are on, I'm not a fire engineer.
But in terms of safety, I'm
assuming it's dangerous as well. That is the picture of United. And look, Jim Ratcliffe isn't responsible. He inherited this situation.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the enormity of what they have to fix. And maybe it's the aesthetics, but for a club of this magnitude, this is... This is what you call insult to injury?
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Poor Ruben Amorim.
Definitely.
Jules, this brings us to an end, but I will leave you. I'm going away. So you'll see me again on the show.
I'm in charge of the house.
But that's me. That'll be me speaking to you from the past. We have a special holiday award show that we're all excited about. After that, you'll be getting some Neda Manua.
Manua, yeah.
There you go.
The 2 shows the following week.
So Jules will take care of you. I will catch y'all in 2025. Until then, love the game. Love your neighbor. Love yourself.